Donald Trump sitting at the defense table, as we mentioned, for day 3 now of witness testimony in his criminal hush money trial. Former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker taking the stand once again with more testimony all about those hush money payments that are at the center of this trial. The former president delivering his morning remarks in the hallway, as you saw there, of the courthouse just before the proceedings began. And he continued to push those claims that none of this would be happening if he weren't running for president.
My constitutional rights have been taken away from me, but every single expert, every legal scholar, every respected scholar has said this is no case. There is no case here.
But there is a case, and that's why he's in the courtroom. Let's bring in our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky, now, who's outside court, along with our legal contributor and trial attorney, Brian Buckmeyer. Aaron, David Pecker back on the stand for the 3rd day. Let's talk about the biggest takeaway from his testimony so far.
3rd day on the witness stand for David Pecker, and his first mention of Stormy Daniels, who he said is or was a porn star. And Kira, Pecker recalled being out to dinner with his wife on a Saturday night in early October 2016. He got an urgent call from one of his editors, he said, informing him that Stormy Daniels was shopping a story about a sexual tryst with Donald Trump, which he, of course, has long denied. And Dylan Howard said there have been a lot of denials, but this story is true. On the phone with Michael Cohen, David Pecker said he advised Cohen, got to buy up this story because the National Enquirer couldn't. It had already spent $30,000 on a doorman's unfounded claim about a Trump love child and $150,000 on Karen McDougal's story of a year-long relationship with Trump. And Pecker said, I'm not a bank. Cohen hemmed and hawed, he said, but finally Pecker advised him, you better buy this up because if you don't and it gets out, the boss, meaning Trump, would be angry.
And Brian, on the stand, Pecker said that he believed Trump knew about these payments to buy Karen McDougal's silence, the Playboy playmate, and all those allegations of the two of them having an affair. That's a pretty big admission for someone who had not said anything about this case until now.
Well, I'm an attorney, I would probably say it could be a big admission because we haven't gotten cross-examination as yet. And so, for example, if Pecker gets up there on cross-examination and is asked, well, why do you believe that Donald Trump knew about these conversations, knew about this story, and it isn't proven up through cross and through what he says, or someone else takes the stand and say, no, Donald Trump didn't know about this. This was just Michael Cohen's own making, something that the defense is probably going to want to push here. Then it's going to be a battle of those two statements. Who do you believe more, Pecker or whoever has contradicting information? But if that statement stays as it is now, absolutely, you're right. Very damaging for the former president.
All right, well, Aaron, Trump has been named and an unindicted conspirator in 2 other state cases. Update us on that.
It's an extraordinary 24 hours in the legal life of Donald Trump. He has been named an unindicted co-conspirator in 2 state-level cases about election interference and fake elector schemes, one in Michigan and one in Arizona, where some of his top advisors have actually been charged with bribery and forgery and conspiracy, talking about Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, Trump's one-time chief of staff in the White House, even Boris Epshteyn, his legal advisor, who's here with him in this courtroom today after being criminally charged in Arizona. The former president, as an unindicted co-conspirator, isn't going to face any charges here, but the indictment in Arizona says that he was part of this scheme to keep him in office, even though Joe Biden won Arizona in 2020.
Aaron Katersky, Brian Buckmeyer, thank you both.